What's up, WWE Games fans? This is THQ Tank, your official community manager. At least one of. I'm missing my tag team partner, Marcus the Hammer Stevenson, and I'm sitting next to the infamous, excuse me, creative director of the WWE SmackDown vs. Raw, now known as WWE 12 franchise, Corey Ledesma. How you doing?
Good, man. Real
Awesome.
Good. Busy, you know?
Yeah, I can tell.
Eager to get back to work.
I see a lot of secret code on there right now.
That's right, yeah. That's why we have the camera shielded that way.
Exactly. How about, before we jump right into this, can you just give us like a high-level state of the union kind of on what you're working on the project right now?
Yeah, absolutely. We are in the what we call the tuning phase. So in development, we have everything implemented. We're not doing any more what they call coding, any new code getting into the game.
Sure.
What we're doing is we're taking the existing systems that we implemented and making sure they're feeling good, they're feeling polished, cleaning up any animation errors we're finding, or making sure the AI is feeling really good and there's not any exploits. So we call this the tuning phase, and so we had that actually until about maybe a week and a half left now, so towards the end of the month, beginning July. Then we stopped that, and we got to step back. It's always kind of hard for the creative guys to do that.
Of course.
And then we go to strictly bug fixing, and then that's when our QA department takes over, and they'll go ahead and complete test the game, make sure there's no bugs, write all those up, and then Ukes is going to be fixing all those bugs from here on out. That's all she wrote. And then we got to move on to next.
Yes.
Bigger,
Yeah, obviously we always got to talk about the next thing.
Yeah.
So while you're watching movies and eating popcorn, QA is sweating it out. No, I'm kidding. we have a very long summer ahead of enhancing and finessing this game.
That's right.
Just another real quick thing. What is your? A lot of the fans are curious. What's your current favorite thing about WWE 12? Without maybe even something you can just kind of tease, or something that's just kind of really exciting you at the moment.
Yeah, there's a lot of things. I mean, I'm really excited about the roster because I think it's one of the strongest rosters we've ever had.
Sure.
And I know that's kind of a big statement, but we feel pretty good about it. I mean, we're kind of go all in on the roster, including DLC. We are planning on having DLC. I know a lot of people are asking about that.
Yeah.
DLC did great last year. A lot of people were happy about it, so we're bringing that back, and we have a lot of cool surprises coming out with that. So roster's got me really excited. Also, gameplay, of course. I mean, I've been talking that to death, but the playability is just so strong, and so that's one of those exciting things that we've been working on for so long. We have it feeling really good that now every day when I pop in the office, I want to go ahead and start playing matches right away. So that's really good. And then Universe, really excited to see the stuff coming online with that because I think that was such a strong mode last year. And we have some really big plans, not only this year but into the future, what we want to do with that mode. It's kind of really exciting because I think it's kind of just started this new chain of events for us of what we can do with this foundation. So that's exciting. Road to WrestleMania is really, really cool. I can't wait to talk about that as well.
All right, enough teasing.
It goes on forever.
Sorry to be teasing you guys out there. All right, so as you know, the purpose of this video is we asked the community, our hardcore community, our loving, passionate community, an opportunity to ask you questions, non-personal ones, specifically about WWE 12. We pulled this directly from our official forums, and we're just going to jump right into it. So first question comes from appropriately named Magic Murder Bag, and he asked, did all the current struggle as of SmackDown vs. Raw 2011 submission moves make the transition to the breaking point system in WWE 12?
Right, yeah, that's a good question. I don't think we've addressed that yet. We have basically, we took the struggle submission moves and we took those animations and we wanted to pour all those into the new breaking point submission system. So I believe all of them are in there. I don't want them to quote this and then they buy the game. Oh, this one move is missing. I think the majority of the moves are actually in there. So that's a good question. Not only that, but we did add quite a few new moves. I think we had something like 6, 7, or 8 new breaking point submission moves. So fans can expect to see a lot of the great struggle submission moves from last year, the new ones from this year, and they'll have a pretty good amount of breaking point submission moves.
And of course, the breaking point submission system it's a new system for the game. It's a new feature.
That's right. Yeah, for those that haven't been following up on WWE 12 news for the last couple weeks, breaking point submission system is a brand new minigame we have in there for submission moves. It's a tug of war back and forth meter that plays out when you get your opponent into this move. And then the opponent has the ability to either try to break out of the submission or climb to the ropes using the left stick. And if he reaches the rope, obviously he gets a rope break. He gets automatically out of the submission system. And it's it's cool because a lot of fans have been asking for a change in the submission system from last year. So we were put that high on our priority list as far as new mini games, new content we want to add in there. So I think fans are gonna be really excited about that.
I have many images in my head of Jericho putting the walls of Jericho on people and people climbing to the ropes. So it's just, I think the drama that system is going to bring to the game. Not saying anything about Jericho in particular, but just in general, the drama that brings is very cool.
Absolutely.
Second question comes from Lanum, and he asks, will female characters be able to compete in 6-person matches this year, in addition to the match options they gained in SmackDown vs. Raw 2011?
Right, I've seen this question quite a bit on the forums or my Twitter account. Unfortunately, females will not be able to fight in 6-player matches. So
we can't always have positive news, ladies and gentlemen.
We apologize about that, but obviously we see the demand for it. We have some tech hurdles that we need to overcome. Actually, the Diva models have much higher polygons than our regular Superstar models.
Well, that's a good thing.
Because they have long hair and because they have curves, it means you need to have a lot more polygons to support that. That's why we have that limitation. So I think it's something we can still get around. We might have to do some tweaks to Diva models next year to support that, but it's nothing that's impossible. So I think in the future that's something we'll address because we see the demand out there. We know the fans want that. So we apologize about this year, but we'll work on it.
And all apologies aside, I mean, this is a game. It's a game that's been evolving over 12 years, you could say, right?
That's right.
And if this is a feature that the fans want, we hear you, and we'll do our best.
Yeah.
And that's all we can do. Lay Cool asks, you guys kept sending out surveys, that would be me, asking fans' opinions on SmackDown vs. Raw 2011 and what we would like changed, improved, or added in future titles. Is there anything you can speak to in particular that we took from those surveys?
Yeah, those surveys were awesome. We loved them. I remember you were coming to us with the idea to do surveys. Yep. We jumped at that opportunity. We thought that was great because we're obviously selling the game to these fans, these consumers that buy it each year, and we want to find out exactly what they want. So surveys is that direct relationship we can get and find out exactly what they want in the game. So I remember we did a lot of surveys covering, Universal or WrestleMania gameplay. We had a lot of individual items on gameplay that we asked about, what you liked, what you didn't. All that stuff was super valuable, and it was actually pretty critical for what we did this year as far as overhauling a lot of our gameplay systems. I mean, obviously there's a lot of complaints about some AI situations, about difficulty levels, about moves, a lot of things that we were able to take from that survey and say, hey, look, fans want this, it's got to be on the top of our list. So for 12, if we are doing these major changes to gameplay, we've got to support these and give the fans what they want in these areas.
And I know there's some things, we asked about Road to WrestleMania, Universe Mode, things that we're not talking about yet, even roster questions.
Right.
Well, who do you want to see on the roster at WWE12? So can't spoil that yet.
And it's not only good for this year, because those surveys were great for this year, but it's for the future. I mean, we keep all that stuff. We have ongoing wish lists that we have. We have ongoing kind of user wish lists as well as what they're looking for, and we try to knock those off each year. It's just a long list, and we got seriously, we got hundreds of things.
Well, we had over 20,000 responses combined, so
that's right.
I mean, that's a lot to go through.
And it's very subjective, right? Everyone's got different opinions, so we try to cater to the broadest audience possible. And some people don't care about the Divas, some people absolutely love them. That's all they play with. So you got to try to find a happy medium. And it's a little bit challenging, but that's what we're here for. We're trying to do the best that we can.
Well, you've been with the franchise for a long time, for good reason.
Thanks.
So, Cena Sultra Africa, in the final version, will we be able to climb on the announce tables?
Yeah, I've seen this a lot too. This is kind of a hot topic. As of right now, it's not in the game. We're trying to see what we can do to get that back in there. We're having some challenges with it, so I don't want to guarantee that it will be or won't be in the game. But they definitely rest assured that we've heard that feedback and we know how important it is. And if it doesn't make it in, we apologize. But another thing that we'll obviously put on the list for future. But our focus this year, because that might seem like an obvious thing, why didn't you put that in there? Our focus this year is core combat, core gameplay. So we didn't, because there are 100 little things like that we could fix and should fix. Those distract from all we're trying to accomplish on core gameplay. So we didn't want that to take away too much. And so we had to make some tough choices that, hey, look, can't execute on a couple of these items because we got to dedicate everything to this new technology, the new Predator technology, the new combat systems, and make sure that's priority number one. And so fans are going to be able to pick up the game and feel that difference right away and be like, wow, playability is there. I'm glad they put that focus in there, and those other smaller items will definitely start to come online, in years to come, and we'll try to knock off as many of those wish list items as possible.
That's awesome, and at the end of the day, it is about core gameplay because how often do you really go outside the ring? People, I'm not gonna demote that match type necessarily, but I think it is worth saying that focusing on core combat, core gameplay, at the end of the day is the most important. That's where you spend 75 to 80% of your time when you're playing the game, in the ring.
Right, and that's the franchise has been around for a while, and so we've had some of those cool, what we call bells and whistles, because they don't really affect core gameplay in the past, but core gameplay hasn't had this major overhaul like we're doing this year. So I think everyone would agree that had to be #1 priority.
Yeah, and I think people are really impressed by the fluid animation systems and just how everything kind of flows together nicely.
Yeah, absolutely.
RKO18X asks, will there be creative finisher modes such as create a submission? And maybe you can't go into full detail yet on how we've expanded or improved that, but is there anything you can allude to?
Yeah, we can't go into it. We will be announcing that in August, around the SummerSlam time is when we usually do these announcements. We talk about some of the new modes that's made into the game. We have already announced that there is a new create mode in the game. We haven't detailed exactly what it is.
Yep.
There's also a new addition to an existing create mode. I know there's some confusion. There were some rumors going around about 2 create modes, but it's really one full create mode and one new nice little addition to an existing one. So that'd be cool. We'll be able to detail that in August. As far as creative finisher, it's definitely back. We still have it.
Of course.
We haven't removed anything from it, but we can't go into details if we've added anything. And also, one of those things kind of goes back to our previous topic, is that we didn't want to take too much away from core combat animation-wise as well, is because there's a lot of animation work that had to go into overhauling core combat. So that means some of the animations from other game areas had to take a little bit of a back burner, be put on the back burner because it's kind of all hands on deck on gameplay.
Right.
So I think some modes might see less animation additions because of that fact.
And I think at the end of the day, the SmackDown vs. Raw, now WWE 12 series has always been known for its community creations in general as having one of the deepest systems around. And I know, even though we can't elaborate on it yet, that WWE 12 takes no prisoners there. Nothing has been taken away. It is as deep as you have always experienced in the SmackDown vs. Raw franchise.
That's right, and we know it's the most popular area of the game outside of what we do, obviously, with gameplay. People love creating superstars, and hundreds of them. We're always getting these requests to increase the amount you can save and so forth. So we put a lot of pride in our creation suite, and each year we dedicate a big chunk of kind of our dev resources to the creation suite because we know how important it is. So I think for years to come, fans can rest assured that that's not going to be an area that we ignore. We don't continue to build upon or add new features or new modes, things like that.
Yep, awesome. A couple more questions here. Capital VMP says, you said the total control environment moves are gone. Can you still... nice one. Can you still throw a guy at the barricade or slam him into the ring post? Are the thrown out moves replaced by normal animations?
Yeah, so what we did is we removed some of those user control moves. We wanted to eliminate some of those and just add back regular controls for those. So instead of the 10 punch in the corner doing the up and down with the stick, we wanted to just make that simple kind of button presses. So what we've done is we've eliminated the UCG controls, is what we call them for short, Ultimate Control, Grapple Controls. And what we've done is we even removed some of the animations we thought were tired and we didn't really think add a lot to gameplay, but we did keep a lot of those existing environmental ones. So the animation's still there, just different controls, and some of the animations are missing. All
right, fair enough. And final question here, the Illusionary asks, even though I know you can't say yet, I want to ask anyways. Okay.
Of course.
Of course you do. Will there be a special guest referee exhibition match type, since the live shows have been doing a lot of them,
right,
and you all are trying to make this game as close to real as possible?
Yeah, absolutely. No doubt about trying to be as real as possible. And sometimes those match types like special guest referee or I Quit kind of go in and out of popularity or phases with the WWE. And so we try to stay on top of what's hot with the WWE and kind of mimic that in our game. And then, we're not talking about any of the new match types that we have this year. Again, like I mentioned before, and a couple of times, we're focusing on core combat. So we didn't want to be able to add a new match type without being able to give it all its, love and resources, right? We don't want to just throw something in there and it's kind of, done halfway because we had to spend so much time on Core Combat. So I think those would be one of those years where maybe you don't see as many new match types because a lot of the attention was on Core Combat. But I definitely seen Special Guest Referee and I Quit as kind of the top asks. I've also seen Buried Alive matches. So we know that those are popular. We know the fans want them. So those are the items that go straight on our wish list for, hey, when we do start adding new match types, whether it's this year or previous, in future years,
of course,
those will be the top ones on there for sure.
So David Arquette's not in the game.
So I got David Arquette here. What do you think of WWE 12?
Sick. The graphics are amazing. New moves. It's always such a great game, and it's just improved that much more. A lot of fun. All your favorite players.
Did you kick some ass?
Kick some ass.
Who's your favorite WWE superstar these days?
I actually got my ass kicked too. I love Randy Orton. I got to wrestle with him and put me through a table. I kind of think bonds a person for life.
Well, now you can put it back through a table in the video game. So
yeah, there you go.
They
don't have a David Arquette in there though.
Oh,
we get it in there.
Yeah, I know.
We can create him.
Oh, you are? No, awesome. Not at all.
Cool. All right, Dave. Any final words for all the WWE fans out there?
I know there's a lot of haters out there because I was WCW champion, but kids' dreams come true sometimes. Don't hate.
I don't know. We're not revealing.
Oh, that's right. Sorry.
Those DLC possibilities.
I actually have one final question for you. I'd like to know what you thought about The Miz losing to Alex Riley at Capital Punishment. Did that just really put a big smile on your face?
I don't like to take. I don't want to be happy in someone else's misery, But
right.
I do have this saying, kind of what goes around comes around. Sometimes karma is there, and so sometimes you act like a jerk for so long, and some bad things happen to you. So
I agree.
You gotta learn how to play this game, Corey.
Very aggressive assault.
All right. Look, I'm gaining stuff back.
This is going to be the easiest match I've ever had in my life.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Why don't you go tweet about it? Why don't you go tweet about it?
Let's just end it now. End it now. Let me show you what I'm going through. Get some blessings here.
Boom! Son! This controller doesn't work. This controller doesn't work. This controller doesn't work. It's broke.
All right, ready?
No, this game. Listen. The controller was broke. Look at this controller. You can even tell. You can tell like that this thing is kind of off, and that's basically what happened. No, I would never lose to Corey Ledesma. Ever. I mean, look at him. You just look at him and you know this guy, all he does all day is play WWE 12. Granted, I'm the superstar here. I haven't even had a chance to play it because Corey's been too busy building it and making it, so obviously he would be pretty good at the game. Give me 1 week with the game and I will be the best player that anyone's ever seen in WWE 12 history.
Sometimes it just works out perfectly like that.
And it's awesome, right?
Yeah, very awesome. But the Miz is a competitor. He's ruthless, so I'm sure he'll be back at it and he'll get his revenge. And I'm not too worried about him.
Awesome. Well,
hopefully he doesn't take out that anger and aggression on me the next time I see him.
No, I think he's focused on Alex Riley right now.
I hope so.
Just to let you know. Well, that's all we got. We're going to be continuing these developer Q&As on a weekly basis as much as we can. We'll be taking your questions once again from the forums on our official Facebook page at facebook.com/WDGames or twitter.com/WDGames. I'd like to thank Mr. Corey Ledesma for being on our developer Q&A number 2. And we will see you next week. Thank you, Corey.
Yeah, thank you, and keep them coming. I want you to send those questions. Send me the tough ones. We're trying our best to answer them and to get you as much details as possible without revealing everything. So these are cool. I love doing these. These are great.
Awesome. And have a great 4th of July. If we don't see you, www.thq.com. Hit us up. More to come on WWE12. Coming at you soon. Peace.
Every champion reinvents himself. Every champion never stops pushing. Bigger.